In film photography, it's not just about the camera that makes magic. A big part of the equation is the film you load into it. Each film has its own characteristic, and today we were going to get into the nitty-gritty of some of my favorite. I will break down what sets each of them apart and how they can impact to your shots. Whether you are new to film photography or you have been shooting for years, knowing your way around different film stock is a key. We are here to demystify these roles and help you to pick the right one for your next shot. And also get ready for some pros, cons, and characteristics of these film stocks. We will see how each one works and what kind of image you can expect from them. Now let's get a bird's eye view of the film stocks we are going to explore today. Each one brings something different to the table. So the first one, let's talk about Fuji Pro 400H. So this Pro 400H is renowned for its beautiful color reproduction. It's over a unique pastel light soft color palette with exceptional skin tones, making it a favorite for portrait photography and wedding photography as well. The grain is fine and well controlled, lending image a smooth texture, which is a hallmark of this film, especially when shot in good lighting condition. Talking about the dynamic range of this film, it has an impressive dynamic range, ensuring details in both shadows and highlights are well preserved. This feature is particularly beneficial in high contrast situation. And also about the versatility, this is really great. It's performed really well in various lighting conditions, but it is truly shines in outdoor or well-lit environment. So let's talk about the pros and cons of this film. Let's start with the pros first. So for the pros, color and tone, its distinct color rendition and tonal range set it apart from other films. Also, this film is forgiving the nature a lot. So overexposing it even by 2 to 3 stops often results in even more impressive color and tones, a trait that forgiving for exposure variation. For professional use, as you can see here, like a professional, its characteristic made it a go-to film for a film photographer professional, especially wedding and portraits photographer. After the pros, let's talk a little bit about the cons of this Fuji Pro 400H. For the price, I think because it's discontinued film, so post discontinuation, the price of Pro 400H has surged, making it a more expensive choice compared to other film. Also, since it's discontinued, finding it can be challenging, and the scarcity drive up the price. The last one is the performance in the low light. So while it can be pushed, it's not as versatile in low light as higher ISO films. So is the Fuji 400H worth the price? Given to its unique aesthetic qualities and professional grade results, many photographers find the price justifiable, especially for its special projects or professional work. However, the value can be subjective, I think, depending on your personal preference and the specific requirements of your projects. And the next one is Kodak Portra 400, is also my second favorite after Fuji Pro 400H. Is a fantastic film stock to discuss. So let's break down a little bit about the characteristic. Portra 400 is famed for its natural, warm color reproduction. It's particularly good at rendering skin tones accurately, making it a favorite for portrait photographer. And also, it has a fine grain structure, contributing to a smooth, clean in your image, especially noticeable in well-lit condition. And talking about the dynamic range of this film is impressive. It handles highlights and shadow gracefully, retaining detail even in challenging lighting. And about the low light performance, while it's a 400 speed film, it's performed admirably in a lower light situations and can be pushed to 800 or even 1600 ISO with great results. So let's talking a little bit about the pros and cons of this film. About the pros, it is extremely versatile, suitable for a variety of lighting condition and photography styles. So Portra 400 is known for its consistent results, which is crucial for professional work. And then exposure forgiveness is similar to the Fuji Pro 400H. That's why I really like this film, because I sometimes always push my shot to the 2 or 3 stops. Exposure tends to yield pleasing results without significant loss of detail using this film. So about the cons, I think it's similar again with the Fuji Pro 400H about the price. While not as pricey as the Fuji 400H, it's still on the higher end of the market, so it's pretty expensive in my opinion. And about the saturation, depending on your aesthetic preferences, the colors might sometimes feel a bit too saturated in my opinion, especially with overexposure. Is the Portra 400 worth the price? I think for many professional and enthusiasts, the answer is resounding yes. The film versatility, forgiving nature, exposure, and consistently pleasing results make it a go-to choice. It's especially worthwhile if you value natural color rendition and need a film that can perform well across various shooting condition. And let's go to the next film, which Kodak Gold 200. It's also the another classic film to explore. Let's talk about the characteristic first. I think Kodak Gold is known for its warm, slightly saturated colors. It has a bit of a vintage vibe, often giving a nostalgic feel to photos. It's particularly good at rendering warm tones like yellows, red, and orange. Also, the grain is more pronounced than in higher-end film like Portra 400, but it adds to its character, especially for those who favor a more traditional film look. Also, the dynamic range is decent, I think, but not as wide as a professional grade films. It's better suited to well-lit environment. With an ISO of 200, it's a daylight film, I think, so performing best in a good lighting conditions. Okay, let's talk about the pros and the cons. The pros, I think, is affordability. It's much more affordable compared to a professional film that I showed to you before, like Kodak Portra 400 or Fuji 400H. And its color palette and grain structure can lend a pleasing retro aesthetic that's popular for certain style of photography. Also, ease of use. It's a good film for beginners, I think, considering the affordability. To those who want to experiment without a higher cost of professional film, I think this suitable to you guys. And let's talk about the cons. So the first cons, I think it has a limited versatility. It doesn't perform as well in low light or high contrast situation as higher ISO films. The dynamic range is somewhat limited as well, which means it can struggle with retaining details in shadows and highlights in challenging lighting. Is the Kodak Gold 200 worth the price? I think for its price point, Kodak Gold 200 offer a great value. It's a fantastic choice of everyday shooting, travel photography, and for those who enjoy a vintage look. Its affordability and distinctive color rendition make it a popular choice among both amateurs and professionals looking for a specific aesthetics. The next one is Fuji Industrial 100. It's a unique and interesting film stocks in my opinion. So let's talk about the characteristic a little bit. This film is known for its natural and somewhat muted color palette. It produces colors that are less saturated compared to some other consumer films, giving a more understated and true to life look. It has a grain structure which is quite impressive for a 100 speed film. This results in sharp, clear images, especially in a good lighting. The contrast is moderate in my opinion, not as flat as some other films but also not overly punchy. It strikes a nice balance, maintaining details across the spectrum. Also, being an ISO 100 film, it's best used in well-lit condition or with adequate artificial lighting. Let's talk about the pros and cons about this film as well. So the first pros is the sharpness. I think excellent sharpness thanks to its fine grain, making it great for detailed work. Also, the color accuracy offers more true to life colors, which can be ideal for certain types of photography where the color fidelity is important. Also, the price is generally more affordable than professional film, of course, making it a good choice for everyday use or specific project needs. For the cons, I think it's of course because it is a 100 ISO film, not ideal for low light conditions without additional lighting or a tripod. It's also not as widely available as some other films, which might pose a challenge depending on your location. In my location in Japan, I think it's more easier to find this film here. Is the Fuji Industrial 100 worth the price? I think Fuji Industrial 100 offer a great value, especially if you are looking for a film with natural colors, reproduction, and fine grain. Its affordability and performance in good lighting condition make it a solid choice for a variety of photography projects. The next one is Japan Camera Hunter Street Pen 400. I'm sorry guys, I don't have any film stocks for this film, but the look of this film I can show you guys on this screen. So this is some of the results of my photos using my favorite black and white film stocks available in the market right now. Japan Camera Hunter Street Pen 400 is a less common but intriguing film stock. So characteristic. So this film for its high contrast and distinctive tonality, which I really like. I do really like a black and white film that has a high contrast like this. So it renders deep blacks and bright whites, making it excellent for dramatic composition. Also, the grain structure is more pronounced compared to lower ISO film, contributing to its characteristic look and it's a key part of its appeal, especially for those who appreciate a greater, more textured appearance in their photos. As a 400 speed film, it's versatile in a range of lighting conditions, including lower light environment. A unique of this StreetPen 400, it is extended red sensitivity, which can bring out more detail in certain situations like cloudy skies or textured surface. Let's talk a little bit about pros and cons as well for this film. So the pros, I think it's very ideal for street photography. It's a high contrast and grain structure make it perfect for street photography, capturing the mood and texture for urban environment. There's also versatility in various lighting conditions, which can work well in both bright and subdued lighting. Also offers a look to stand out from more common films, which can be appealing for certain artistic and aesthetic preferences. So for the cons, I think it has limited dynamic range. I think due to its high contrast, it might lose some details in shadows and highlights. Also, the availability, it's not as widely available as more mainstream film like Kodak, which could be a consideration depending on where you are based again. Is the Japan Camera Hunter StreetPen 400 worth the price? I think for photographer looking for a film with a unique character, especially suited for street and urban photography, I think this film is definitely worth considering. Its distinctive contrast and grain pattern can add a compelling element to your image. Next one is Kodak Ektar 100. I'm sorry again, I don't have any stocks currently at the moment, so I can show you the picture of Kodak Ektar 100 here. So Kodak Ektar 100 is famed for its high saturation, offering some of the most vivid colors you will find in a color negative film. This makes it exceptional for landscape and nature photography where you want the colors to pop. The grain structure, it boasts an extremely fine grain, one of the finest among color negative film in my opinion. This results in a very smooth and sharp images, enhancing the film's clarity and detail. And the dynamic range is also good, although with the high saturation, it can sometimes lose a bit of detail in the darkest and lightest areas. With an ISO of 100, I think it's best utilized in bright conditions or with control lighting setups. So let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons as well. Pros is I think it's because of its vivid color, ideal for capturing striking landscape, cityscapes, and any scene where color plays a key role. It's also offer a fine grain, offers a high resolution look, which is great for enlargement or detailed work. This film also known for its sharpness, which complements its fine grain and high saturation to produce crisp image. And let's talk about the cons. I think this film has less forgiving with exposure, so I always failed and feel not really good to overexpose or underexpose this film. So Ektar 100 tends to be less forgiving of exposure errors compared to some other films. Overexposure can lead to overly bright color, or underexposure can result in loss of details. It's also not as versatile in low light or indoor setting without additional lighting. Is the Kodak Ektar 100 worth the price? For projects where color and detail are paramount, Ektar 100 is absolutely worth it. Its unique combination of vivid color, fine grain, and sharpness make it a standout, especially for landscape and nature photography. So the last one of my favorite film is Cinestill 800D. It's a unique and popular film stock, especially known for its nighttime and low light performance. So the characteristic is like Cinestill 800T is a tungsten balance, meaning it's optimized for artificial lighting condition, giving a warm and cinematic look under tungsten lighting. In the daylight, it tends to skew towards cooler tones unless you use a corrective filter. A standout feature is its halation effect around bright lights, so created by the removal of the anti-halation layer. This gives image a dreamy cinematic quality, especially noticeable in night scene with bright light sources. It has a pronounced grain as well, contributing to its cinematic feels. The grain is noticeable but not overpowering, adding character to the image. Also, the light sensitivity with an ISO of 800 is quite versatile in low light condition, making it a favorite of night photography and indoor scene without flash. And for the pros and cons for this film, the pros of this film, I think again, low light performance. It is excellent for nighttime photography, capturing well exposed image in situation where other films might struggle. The halation effect and tungsten color balance give it a distinct look that's hard to replicate with other films or digital post-processing, in my opinion. Also, the versatility, so good for a range of lighting condition through its science and artificial lights. For the cons itself, I think without a color correction filter, it can produce a noticeable blue cast in daylight condition. Also, it's on the pricier side, I think, for the price, partly due to its specialized nature. Is the Cinestill 800T worth the price for photographers looking for that cinematic look, especially for night scenes? I think this film is definitely worth the investment. Its unique characteristic make it a favorite for creative project and situation where its distinct aesthetic can be fully utilized. That wraps up our journey through these fascinating film stocks. Each one, as we have seen, has its own character and charm, whether it's the soft pastel of Fuji Pro 400H, the natural of unique nighttime of Cinestill 800T. There is a film for every mood and moment. Always remember, the choice of film can be as critical as the choice of lens or camera. So it's about the feel you are going for, the lighting conditions, and the story you want to tell through your photos. And as a photographer, experimenting with the different film stock is not just about fun, it's a journey of discovery as well. So you get to see the world through different palettes and contrast, learning and growing with every shot. Again, thanks for joining me on this film exploration. I hope my favorite film inspires you to load a roll and start capturing the work in your unique way. So I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.